Greetings, children. The topic that we are going to learn today is improvement in food production. This is lesson number 17 from your third unit. In this lesson, we are going to learn the improvement what we are supposed to do in food production. You would think that what sort of improvement in food production we are going to do, or why should we learn about this? To learn or to know about this lesson completely, I need you to watch a video first. I'll play you a video now. Please do watch the video, and then you will understand why is this food production or improvement in food production is necessary in the world, or why we are learning about that now. I'll show you the video now.
Surwa is a farmer in Africa. Every day, she works long hours tending a small plot of land. She hopes to grow enough crops to keep her children from going hungry and sell what's left for a fair price. But it's a fragile lifeline. Crop disease, unstable markets, or a few weeks without rain could destroy everything she has. She is not alone. Nearly 1 billion people go to bed hungry every day. Millions of farmers throughout the world, most of whom are women, are struggling to survive and feed their families because they lack the access to quality seeds, markets, or innovative tools that can maximize their harvests. But these problems can be solved. Interventions like better irrigation systems, improved fertilizers, and disease and drought-resistant seeds can produce larger harvests. Alliances between governments and the private sector can foster real growth, creating new, bustling marketplaces and fueling supply and demand so farmers can sell their products. And education programs on vitamin-rich crops can help farmers provide more nutritious food for their families. By providing women like Surwa with the right tools, access, training, and technology, there could be a 30% increase in global food production. That's 150 million more people who would have enough to eat each year. Tackling hunger anywhere is the responsibility of people everywhere. By empowering countries to grow their way out of poverty, we can break the cycle of hunger and build a more stable world for future generations.
So that's a video by USAID, that is United States Agency for International Development. So you would understand why we are talking about this improvement in food production, right? So this food production it has to be improved. That's very, very important. And from when on we started talking about this food production is when our country felt a great famine during 1970. Previously also it happened, before some years it happened, but very recently during 1970 when Maharashtra, West Bengal, so those regions had a very severe famine, drought condition. People started thinking about this improvement in food production throughout the world. At that time, throughout the world, there was the same situation. There was a huge starvation occur, huge famine occur. So this leads to the scientists. This leads the scientists to think about something new, newer technology, so that they can develop their food production. They can develop the quality and quantity of food. They implemented so much new rules, and there comes at that time they started thinking about the green revolution too. So in this lesson you are going to learn about what are all the what were all those important steps taken at that time, and also what are all the important techniques now we are practicing. In future, what are the techniques we can do in further to improve the food production in all the ways. We have to increase the food production through the quality way and also in the quantity aspect. So in all ways we need to improve the food production. So in this lesson we are going to learn about this many topics. There is improvement in food production. We need to know about what are all the different kind of aspect by which we are going to improve the food production, and about various plant breeding techniques, and about tissue culture a very little, and single cell protein, that's also very little. You are going to learn a gist about that, and about biofortification, this is a new topic, so you are going to learn about what is it, and then about apiculture and animal husbandry. And these two topics will be dealt by Miss Vanita, so I will be dealing about all these 5 first topics. So first, plant breeding. you should understand plant breeding. These are all the important topics that take us into green revolution. As I said just before, plant breeding is, we are not going to create a novel plant, right? So by plant breeding, what we are expecting a person to do is the already existing maybe two different varieties or three different varieties. For example, like in one plant, the rice variety, we can go with rice variety. In some areas, the rice would be with high yielding variety, we can get the high yielding variety. And in some areas, the rice or paddy will be growing with a drought resisting variety. It doesn't require too much of water as like the other conventional or other wild types. Some of the rice varieties may be growing resisting too much of pest infestation. So if you are trying to improve the quality of the plant, improve the quality of your production, about the farming technique, what we will be expecting from the scientist is to mix all these three different categories and get all the three positive aspects in just one plant. So if we are raising one plant, that plant will be tackling the drought situation, and the plant has to come out of the infestation, whatever the infestation is existing at that time, it has to come out of it by itself without depending on any other fertilizer or anything, any other chemical fertilizers or anything. And then it has to provide the expected good quality and quantity food from a limited amount of number of crops. So this is what plant breeding basically talks about. So we are going to create a desired variety by the manipulation of already existing plant species. So this is the foremost idea behind plant breeding concept. And then plant breeding types will be, the plant types has to be manipulated to develop a better suited variety, and it has to give better yield, and also it has to provide disease resistant variety too, right? So by this, what we are going to achieve is increased yield in food production. We need to get enough quality, and also the quantity of the food has to be increased, and this leads to green revolution. All these topic or all this concept leads to green revolution, and this green revolution was a major topic in the year 1970 when we got hit with this famine. So what is green revolution and who was behind this green revolution? The main idea behind green revolution is by Norman E. Borlaug. Norman E. Borlaug was termed as the father of green revolution, and he is responsible, and he got the Nobel Prize also for this introduction of new variety of rice and wheat. And he with the help of IRRI, that is International Rice Research Institute, which is in Philippines, and he introduced some different varieties of plant. He was working on so many different kind of cereals, especially because cereals are the major food crops. As you all know, cereals are the major food crops. So cereal, he did a lot of study in various cereal crops, and he suggested the scientists to go with different plant breeding techniques, and he by the end of his result, they got some different new varieties, and out of that, some varieties of wheat and some varieties of rice were selected, and it was given to other countries, which helps in escaping from the famine condition and save millions of people from death. So that's why he got Nobel Prize. Norman E. Borlaug, he got Nobel Prize for saving people from the famine of 1970, right? And then Dr. M.S. Swaminathan is the second one, who is from our Tamil Nadu. So M.S. Swaminathan is from Kanjipuram, I guess. He is a Tamil Nadu person, and he is still alive. Okay, he is having M.S. Swaminathan Research Foundation in Chennai. If you go to Chennai, if you go to MSSRF, you can see him there. So this Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, he did his research in the same kind of disease resistant or high yielding plant variety. He did at that time, at the same time he was doing, when this 1970 time, he was in Indian Research Institute of Indian Rice Research Institute. He was in that board, and he is termed as the father of green revolution in India. Norman E. Borlaug is the father of Green Revolution. In India, he is the man behind the Green Revolution. So these two men you have to know at the time of Green Revolution. They are behind this. And what is Green Revolution is we are going to create a revolution in the crops, in the production of new crops or production of plant-based food. So that is what Green Revolution talks about. So there is development and flourishing of the agriculture. And why or what is behind this is we are going to develop new crop varieties, especially the cereal varieties. As I said before, disease resistant and high yield varieties would be mostly selected for. And in Green Revolution, you should understand some important 1 marks can be asked from this particular topic. You have to understand that, you have to know that. So these are the two wheat varieties. Sonalika and Kalyan Sona were the two different semi-dwarf wheat varieties. That's very important. Semi-dwarf wheat varieties. Okay, these two semi-dwarf wheat varieties were introduced by Norman E. Borlaug, which was developed from IRRI, that is International Institute of Research Institute, International Rice Research Institute. International Rice Research Institute, that is in Philippines. Okay, so IRRI is responsible for this too. And this Kalyan Sona and Sonalika was introduced in India. This is semi-dwarf varieties, semi-dwarf wheat varieties introduced in India by Norman E. Borlaug. And this Jaya and Ratna are the two semi-dwarf rice varieties. Semi-dwarf rice varieties. These two were introduced in India with the help of Indian Rice Institute, Indian Rice Research Institute. There is ICAR. It's not given in your book. With the help of this ICAR, they have introduced these two rice varieties in India at the same time, at the time of Green Revolution or at the time of 1970s to 80. These two rice varieties were introduced in India. Right? They were actually this Jaya and Ratna were good with high tolerant varieties. These two are. Okay, and I need to tell you one more important variety of rice which was developed by this IRRI, that is IR8. You would have heard about this, or if you are talking to your the people who is and the elder people of your family, if you are talking to them, they may know that IR8. Okay, IR8 is a very famous rice variety in India. IR8, which is like the magic rice or miracle rice among the farmers, because that is the one which was which saved the entire people of the country from famine. IR8, because it was like so magic, which is producing too much of huge yield, and which is believed to be the superior variety of rice at that time, which provide nearly 50% of the zinc necessity for a particular person. Zinc was also supplied along with the food, along with the rice. Okay, so it was manipulated to have zinc in it. The rice was rice consists of zinc in it. And IR8 was a high yield variety of Indonesia. It was a cross between two different varieties. One is from Indonesia, which is a tall growing one. Another one is a dwarf variety from Taiwan, and this is a hybrid between these two. Okay, so when we are learning about IRRI, IR8 is also very important. IR8, number 8. Okay, IR8, that is the rice variety, semi-dwarf rice variety of IRRI, right, which is known as miracle rice. So these three you need to know while you are learning about Green Revolution. So in today's class, I ask you to read. I'm going to ask you to read your homework. You need to read the first 2 pages. Okay, up to Green Revolution you can read. You have to read up to Green Revolution and underline the points that I said. About Green Revolution you have to learn. About Norman E. Borlaug and about M.S. Swaminathan you have to write. Next to your text you have to write. And then about Kalyan Sona, Sonalika, the semi-dwarf wheat varieties that you have to underline. And IRRI, which is in Philippines, that you have to underline. And then IR8 is the important rice variety that is known as miracle rice, that you have to write and underline. And then Jaya and Ratna are the semi-dwarf rice varieties that you have to mention that it is semi-dwarf rice varieties. Okay, so this is the only thing I'm teaching you today. So you have to read this. And today your revision portion, I'm supposed to give you a revision portion also for your revision exam. This is your revision portion. So you need to go with lesson 23. I've given you how long you need to learn. You need to go with objective type questions, fill in the blanks, and true or false would be there, and very short answer questions would be there. And then you have to learn the short or long answer type questions. So there is around 7 questions are there. So I need you to go with the questions which is just at the back of your lesson. So test your progress column. You have to learn up to short or long answer type questions. So by around 6:30 I'll post some 5 questions with a due of 10. Okay, so from 6:30 to 10 o'clock you have time to complete your homework. Up to 10 it would be open. The due is 10 p.m. okay, 10 nights 10 p.m. So you have to complete the questions which is from this particular part. So from 6:30 it would be open till 10. Okay, so you have to complete your homework by 10 and send it back to me, hand it in to me. I'll correct that in Google Classroom. Okay, so thank you kids. I understood you have I hope you have understood the concepts what I taught you today. If there is any doubt, you just message me. This lesson is going to be a little bit tougher, so hope with the lesson you just read that. That's also very important. Read that Green Revolution completely and understand that Green Revolution, only Green Revolution. Okay, and complete this portion. I'll be asking questions only from this part, from the revision part. Okay, make sure you are learning that too. Thank you kids.